Human reality is based on its drive to twist reality. And the desire to twist reality manifests on the spectrum of good and bad. And the bad is lies. A lie is essentially having the audacity to take reality and as it is, reject it, and create your own. So you have a universe of truth, and you say, no, I'm going to warp that. And of course everything is connected to everything else. So to warp one thing is to warp literally the fabric of the universe. And with humans, it's almost like that's the goal of our consciousness. And I know the lies is the bad part, but the good part of wanting to twist the fabric of reality is the ability for us to squeeze out things constantly from the ether that never existed before. So you have reality, and reality is existence as it really is, objectively speaking, that it can, it can be itself without the judgment of anything else. It just is the absolute truth. That's what is. So anything outside of that technically doesn't exist because it's not reality. But humans take things that never existed before and we create them. So we literally are twisting the fabric of reality to create new things. That's what you have to do to create new things. You have to say, you have to see reality as it is and say, I get that, I see that, but no. It says, I reject your reality and I subject my own. But it doesn't always turn out right. Sometimes we have dark-ass realities that we want to project out into the world. And lies are, some of the most insignificant. Well, they're not insignificant, but they're compared to the other ways that the darkness takes control of twisting reality. You know what I mean? Like genocide, for example. To say, I need a reality in where you don't exist, right? So now you're talking about murder. Okay, that's the dark side, but, whatever. Like, you can't have light without dark. Like, you guys aren't going to live somewhere where you have one experience forever. Like, you can't exist somewhere where you're going to experience happiness forever. It's ridiculous, or sadness. You're not going to live somewhere where you experience sadness forever. It's ridiculous. No, how it works is everything that exists in quote unquote reality must exist with an opposite. Otherwise, it wouldn't really exist because they kind of bump up against each other. They define each other. That's obvious. You guys have heard that before. But what most people don't understand is where was I? Got caught up just looking at the moon. It's a beautiful half moon right now. Oh, I'm hungry as hell too. Fuck, I'm so hungry. Almost home. What was I talking about? Just the secrets of the universe. Oh yeah, I was talking about how all things that exist have to have an opposite. What most people forget, what I was meant to say was that life will always bounce back and forth between the opposites. So you have to have one thing if you're going to, to have the other. But we don't. the swing, which is the rhythm, music, swing, dancing, is always back and forth, hiding. Let's say you're playing hide and seek with itself. That's what rhythm does. So it allows us to have different experiences. It allows us to never be sad forever, right? Because that would suck. So eventually you're going to have to swing to happy again. But unfortunately you forget happiness and you get sad. It's back and forth. It's the rhythm of life. And what that means is it basically gives us choices. Chances to, again, twist reality, to carve something out for ourselves. Getting overly excited sets you up for being overly depressed. Like, the more in love you are with someone, the harder your heart breaks if it doesn't go well. And the rule is the capacity to feel grief, the capacity to feel angst is your capacity to feel love and joy. So it's compensation, basically, is what I'm getting at. It compensates. What I'm saying is, at least the hack for this is, no, you cannot stop the swinging pendulum, right? Because you cannot deny rhythm. The principle of rhythm is undeniable. You cannot deny that, but you can rise above it. So the pendulum swings, but you're not on the pendulum. And what does that look like in day-to-day life? What it looks like is not attaching to the outcome. Some people say never attach to the outcome, but they don't explain why. Well, I'm telling you why. Because when you attach to the outcome, you attach to the swinging pendulum, which means you are being swept away. You're not creating your own reality. You're just caught in the loop of reality, because that's what rhythm is. It's just a loop. It's over and over and over and over again. We escape that by rising above it. People say raise your vibration, raise your energy. That's what's happening. You're rising above the swing of that pendulum. Now here's the thing. Every level corresponds to every other level. Every level corresponds to every other level, meaning the same rules apply to each level. So you start on level 1, and I say don't attach to outcomes, because you'll get caught in the pendulum, rise above that. So you work on your goal or whatever. You don't, that's all you have. Sorry, tangenting. Ahead of myself. Every level, every tier, level 1, level 2, level 3, has the same laws. So it's not like you'll never exist in a world where there's no rhythm. Basically, what I'm saying, you can't get that far out of it unless you're actually in oneness, right? Like sucked back into the mind of whatever intelligent mind we came from, right? Whatever name you want to call it, this unnameable thing. Inside there's oneness, infinity, where there is no duality. It's just one thing forever, one experience, infinity that we can't even wrap our minds around forever. That's where that exists. But you and I, we're just thoughts. We're just straight up. We are straight up. You guys, we are Hamlet to Shakespeare. Trying to figure out who Shakespeare is. Like, can you imagine Hamlet stopping mid-play and thinking, where did I come from? Shakespeare? Is that God? Their thoughts. How are someone's thoughts going to have thoughts on them? That's us. We are thoughts having thoughts on the original thought. How fucking crazy is that? So again, yes, we will experience all these 7 principles. Basically, we will experience these things on every level that we exist, whether it's the physical body, whether it's the mental body, whether it's the intellectual body, whether it's the pure spiritual body. Theoretically speaking, you can rise forever. Like, you can rise forever. And because things balance, like I was saying before, rhythm balances things, like you can go lower forever. You know? I'm not convinced, in other words, that there's such a thing as rock bottom. I do believe that you're fucking ass can fall dark as hell forever unless you make a decision. There's always a point where someone's like, okay, this is enough. This is my rock bottom. Because you notice people's rock bottoms are at different levels, right? So, you know, so that means there's no rock bottom. That just means there's a point where people are willing to turn around or not. That's it. Again, because you go in either direction until infinity, unless you get sucked back into oneness again, whether it was like the OG Big Bang or what. But yeah, that's it for now. Let's call that podcast number 1. I'm home, tired as hell. So see you guys next time.